So before we move further, we have around 275 attendees here. So it's not possible to get the background of all of you, but it would be great helpful if I get your technical background, at least a few of yours, so that like I can get the platform set. We'll take just 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, Rahul Ranjan says mainframe. Okay, we have few testers, .NET developers, RPA 5 years, Harshit Jan, um, RPA UI path. Okay, mm, we have IT automation, we have storage, SAP admin, uh, 1 year in Perl and JS, data center. Okay, .NET support, .NET architect. Okay, automation team. We have few students also here. RPA, Blue Prism, CRM, Unix, student, developer. Okay, BTech student, MX trainer. Some we have who is starting RPA career. We do have trainer also, programmer. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Great, great. So we have diversified participants here. We have freshers, we have students, we have those who are working in support, developer, uh, technical staff. We do have few experienced RPA guys also. We do have trainers. We do have guys who are going to make their career in RPA. Great, great. This is going to be a very interesting session. So one more thing, at end we'll have QA segment. So if you have a question which needs some detailed answer, then please make a note. So last 15 minutes we'll dedicate towards QA. Apart from that, if you're not able to understand some jargons or like let's say some term in presentation, right away you can raise a question. So I'll answer those. But we have to always remember we have just 120 minutes in our hand, so we have to make those 120 minutes fruitful. Yeah. So as I said, my name is Chandan Chanchal. I'm having around 17 years IT experience, majority into development, Java, .NET. Then I moved towards big data processing, big data analytics. That's when like I got interaction of RPA, because in one of my consulting we have to extract data from images, then we have to process tons of data in Hadoop. That's when I got training in RPA way back. It was 2012. After that, I got a chance to work with I mean the top 3 RPA tools. We'll talk about those. So entire presentation I have um, mm, distributed across 4 key areas. One, we'll understand what exactly RPA is, the scope of RPA, where we can go and implement. Before that, we'll understand like what this buzzword is, especially for those who are unknown to this jargon. Then we'll try to understand whether it's going to suit for my company, my business domain, or my team or not. So those things we'll try to understand. After that, we'll talk about how we can identify which process we can, for which process we can implement RPA, for which we not. Or if we are not able to, or what challenges we are, once we have decided, like, let's go and use RPA for this specific process or for entire processes, what challenges usually we face and how we can, get rid of them. Then we'll talk about a few popular vendors, tools. We'll do a little comparison. At last, we'll talk about one simple use case, how we can what exactly RPA can do for us. Yeah. So that is the whole agenda for today's session. So Harshit says, like, can we have a recording of the session? So for that, you have to talk to our technical team. Yeah, we are doing recording, but I don't know, like for that I don't have much idea. Fine. So let's move. So what exactly uh, we will do in coming 20 minutes? Okay, so we are aware. I have given the introduction. I have created the boundary for what purpose we have assembled today. Simply, we'll talk about RPA. So few slides I'll skip. So our main target is to understand what exactly RPA is, what exactly this is. So for those who are very new to this domain, uh, one or two person answer what they understand with this buzzword. Do they have some idea or don't they have? So what exactly it is? That's acronym. That's acronym. I'm not interested for acronym. So what exactly it does? Right, right. That's also great if you don't have idea. For that purpose, we have assembled. Okay, okay. Enough, enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so yeah. So before we go and talk about this buzzword, what exactly this RPA is, uh, we should talk about how our business processes are getting transformed and at which pace, at which speed it's getting transformed. That we need to understand first. Then we'll move towards understanding what exactly RPA is. So those who are in industries since 2000 onwards or 2005 onwards, last 15, 17 years, they must have witnessed a lot of business processes transformation, or even like the way businesses were getting handled in early 2000 and let's say like mid 2010, 2010 to 15, and now in last 4 5 years. So we have seen a lot of transformation. We can take a simple example. Wherever you go, I'm talking about some web application websites. So earlier we had some chat application. Fine. In last 10 years, you can say, the moment you log into any, let's say, educational website or some e-commerce or some other website, so some chat application is there, and that is going to assist you the way like we have physical assistant when you jump into any store. In similar fashion, earlier, I mean, way back, like in 2000, it was not there, but last 7, 8 or 10 years, we could see that one. So the moment you log in or the moment you visit website, it says like, how may I help you? So way back when this service got started, it was handled manually. I mean, some person is sitting at other end. That person is going to take your query and try to answer with best suited, I mean, best possible answer, right? And it's not like that whatever question you raise immediately that would be answered. That again depends upon the capability, or might be information, or might be within boundary of the person who is going to assist you. I mean, you might have witnessed like some of the question, takes 5 minutes, might be 7 minutes, might be more than that, or sometimes it says like, sorry, you have to raise a request or something like that. So I'm trying to bring one information here is that was done through a human being, and we know that now. I mean, we are living in global world, so service will keep on running 24/7, and a single human being or a human being can't work 24/7. We have to have those resources working in a shift. That's first thing. Second thing, the behavior of human, changes depending upon mood, depending upon work pressure, depending upon health condition, and many more things. That has a lot of benefits as well as like some negative things also. We'll talk about. Uh, mm, we'll talk about. I mean, I have some question here, like what RPA can do, which which cannot be done through. Okay, so we have a question. What is the difference between BP and RPA? Definitely, we'll try to answer these questions, Nirmal. Don't worry, uh, because we have a lot of freshers here, a lot of people who doesn't have any idea about BPA even. So let us complete those foundation bricks. Then we'll try to answer this thing. I hope you understand, right? Yeah. So will Abhishek will understand this thing also, like how it's I mean how chatbots are different to RPA. Definitely we'll try to answer all these questions, but let us first create a a platform. Okay, then we'll try to understand these things. Yeah. So what I'm trying to bring in here is, um, now those human beings are replaced by some software which we say as chatbot. Those who have heard this thing, they know what exactly chatbots are. Those who are very new, so chatbot is nothing but uh, uh, an application running at other end, which connects to a knowledge base, and based upon that, it tries to answer our question. The initial chatbots were very, very simple, but nowadays chatbots are very powerful because of artificial intelligence. There's another segment of talk, this out of scope for this session. Yeah, but now chatbots are empowered with artificial intelligence. So the more artificial intelligence feature a chat box uses, the more accurate it's going to give our answer to our questions. Fine. So the key point here is, if we could replace human being by some software, those software is not going to say my shift is over, I need to go home. So those applications, those software, those programs will keep on working 24/7. That's one thing. Second thing is what we need. They're not gonna ask for salary hike. They're not gonna ask for medical insurance. They're not gonna ask for like I'm running out of resources. So we can deploy those applications instead of a human being. Yeah. So uh, mm, we could experience here that nowadays, I mean, those who know these chat box, what exactly it is, and those who don't know, for both of them, it's going to be mandatory for any and every application which run on web and which service digitally, they have some sort of chat box, because we need assistance. Gone are the days when we used to make a call to service center or customer care. We want immediate responses, and chat box are very effective. So that has become kind of business need, not the add-on feature. Okay, in initial days it was kind of add-on feature, but now it's need. So that is one transformation. Okay. The another thing is what we'll try to understand, um, how we can start journey, how we can make our career in RPA, how we can become part of this uh, kind of hot cake of job bundle, which is RPA. I have seen here's something I would like to add. When we got training in RPA, it was like just learning another tool. But last 6 7 years, I have seen a lot of demand for this specific tool. So anyone is here from Xerox? Anyone is here from Xerox company? Okay, not an issue. Not an issue. So because I have taken a couple of trainings for them also, and like they have implemented, they have deployed uh, bots to their various operations, which were been handled through human being. uh, Fine. So mm, a lot many companies which were earlier damn reluctant, not to deploy, not to switch to RPA. Now they are very eager to move to RPA. It's because of two things. One, because of psychology, and the second thing, they have seen, they have measured great benefits with RPA. That will also go and analyze what benefit RPA brings in. Fine. So here I have just tried to summarize. So what exactly RPA is? Okay. So so I hope my screen is visible, right? So okay. So uh, RPA is nothing but a program developed through a specific tool which go and handle task which has been repetitive in nature, which has been which has been repetitive in nature, which requires in initial days. Now it has much more cognitive feature, but in initial days, which required less human intelligence, more repetitive behavior of human being. Okay, so for such kind of work, uh, a program which has been developed through some specific tool. Those specific tools are nothing but different product. We'll talk about those. Okay, and here programs are known as, if you when those who are new to this RPA, they might be confused with bot. So here nothing but what program we create to automate some processes, we say as bot. Here we never say program. Okay, so we say bot, a complete working program, a program, a unit of deployable program we call as bot. Okay, fine. Then question comes in, why do we need this RPA? We were doing well, like we had full-fledged BPO industry, we had full-fledged uh, mm, um, industry which has been done by experts, which has been handled by those who were expert in domain, round the clock employees we used to manage. But why suddenly we are we are moving towards, why we are greedy to go and implement this buzzword? So there are so many reasons. There are so many reasons. Mm, okay. There are so many reasons. I think now my screen is much more clear. So okay. So one reason is what, if task is getting repetitive, and we have any chance, we have any way, we have hmm, any possibility to automate that task. Okay, as we know that we human being are tend to do mistakes. So if it is going to get automated, and of course, like blindly we should not automate and go and deploy that automated program. I mean, the program which is automating our process, we have to do a lot of testing and all. But once we are sure that my program is giving desired output, 1,000 or 10,000 out of 10,000 times, it will give very same result. Okay, it's not like that. I mean, in case of human being, we know that first hour work has different efficiency level comparison to last hour of work. Okay, that's not the case with an automated tool or a program. Okay, so there are so many reasons, but one common reason is what, like, it has tendency to decrease error significantly. Okay, so I mean, some RPA matrices says like over 60%, more than 60%. But yeah, that again varies, but it has mm, capability to reduce errors which is been done by human being, because human being is not going to handle the repetitive task. Rather, program will do that. Okay, so those who are from BPO industry and have handled some Excel automation, so they can consider, they can recall their macros thing. Okay, do we have anyone who does Excel processing? Yeah, so Abhishek, do you play with, I mean, anyone plays with macro? Yeah, we do have. Yeah, so those who are unaware of macros is nothing but program written in VB scripts through which we can automate Excel processes. Okay, and those who use macros and unaware of RPA, don't confuse macro with RPA. Okay, um, but it's not official, but for understanding purpose we can say that macro is nothing but subset of RPA, just for understanding purpose. It's not a standard definition. Okay, so through macro we can automate great degree of Excel processes. Okay, but through RPA we can do much more thing. Okay, fine, so let's move further. Okay, so here is one comparative study. So as I said, like when we got training in RPA, that time companies were damn reluctant not to use because of two. Because they were damn hesitant because of, I think, two fear. One is like how this tool is going to behave, first thing, and second thing, whether this tool is trustworthy or not. I mean, whether it will give desired output or not. So do we have any participant here who have heard about Watson, IBM Watson? Okay, so any idea what exactly it is? Okay, enough. Yeah. Great. Prabhat is not supercomputer developed by IBM. It's AI tool which has cognitive feature. Fine. So, okay. So if we if we go and study the implementation of RPA, still we did not understand. Those who are new to RPA will go and postmortem this jargon, what exactly. But how come? Because we are talking about scope of RPA in first segment, so we will see like how industry is taking this buzzword, how industry is trying to understand. I mean, behave with this tool, sorry, this domain, and what is the degree of adaptation of this tool. The fact is, if you see the last 5 years history, so it's still, it has been adopted by older client more. I mean, it's been adopted more by older client comparison to newer one. What I mean to say here is, like those organization which have used RPA in either of their processes, they are trying to adopt it much more. But still, a lot many companies are there which are, you know, which are in dilemma where we should go and adopt this RPA tool, or we should still go with our human workforce. Okay, fine. And so these statistics I have taken from use cases given by all those RPA tool leaders. So if you see the comparison, still RPA been, that this tool has been adopted in technology or automation segment, which is growing year over year. So if we compare by 2025, we could see here significant uh, growth in RPA adoption, and specifically if you compare last 12 months, I mean January 2018 or January, especially January 2017 to January 2019, so 24 months, um, I have witnessed, because I'm regular trainer of Xerox. So in when we have given first demo, then use cases, then we talked about ROC and all, their senior management were damn reluctant not to move, quickly. So they said like, still we need to study, much more. Still we need to do some comparison, because they were not getting much trust over um, mm, technical failure, and even tools were not that stable at it got, I mean, across the vendor. It's not like I should not mention one or two tool here. So tools, even RPA tools, were not that stable, but year over year they got a lot of stability. But last 24 months, at least, under my team guidance, 3 to 4 processes, when I say 3 to 4, I'm talking about team, they have adopted end-to-end RPA. Fine. So one comparison we can see here, all things we'll talk about, Venkatesh, don't worry. So all these questions I'll try to answer in QA segment. What kind of automation it can do? Is it like limited to web or some other? Okay. So Deepak will talk about this also. Which tool has preference as per my knowledge or as per my experience? So yeah, we'll talk about some vendors also, Deepak. So we'll pick up the top 3 or top 4, from vendor list. Okay. Yeah. So Kamal will talk about this thing also. We'll talk about we'll pick up one use cases also. Fine. Yeah. All those things we'll talk, Kamal, like which tool has been developed through. I mean, which RPA tool is developed through which technology? All those things we have slides for that comparison. Yeah. Fine. So we have two scenarios here. So let's say we have some um, process running at left hand side, and which is been done by human resources. So we can see here that we have 4 human resource here to handle incoming customer request. It could be any use, I mean, it could be anything. It could be like, you are doing inquiry for product price listing, you are doing inquiry for, let's say, service offering, we are doing inquiries for, let's say, service status. Okay. So so all those things. So for example, like we have claimed, we have put some insurance claim, and after online submission it says, we'll update you soon. Okay. So update you soon means like, usually we think like within a day it should come. So we have got some service request number, and once we have that, we can go and check our service status. And if we are able to find that one, so as per our service provider, they say if you're not able to find here, please drop us a mail. Okay. We know that once we mail them, that mail is been handled by by their end. So if we have this strategy with us, then some of the human being is going to handle the mail. So again, that person will check our service status with service ID, what we got allocated. Fine. And based upon information, they'll reply us back. Fine. Here the very same thing can be done through, okay, RPA tool. Fine. So same thing which is been handled by human being here can be handled through bots or a program developed through RPA tool. Okay. Does it mean like the this design, this scenario, or this paradigm is uh, is having zero human intervention? Answer is no. It's still we need some human resources. Okay, we should go and sit on the top of RPA processes. Okay, so it's not like that. Once we deploy those bots are nothing but program. Don't confuse with mechanical robots, what we see in movies or like in assembly line of car and all. Okay, yeah, that is again like you know um, handled by some program, but here we are talking about computer program. Okay, so this side, some computer program which we say as bot, uh, which will take care of the things what is been taken by these human beings. Yeah, but we do need few human resources on the top of this program for monitoring purposes, for doing some judgmental decisions, or just to look through that this bot is doing work properly. Okay, fine. So does anyone have idea about assisted bot? Will Sudarshan will in coming slide we'll talk about how RPA is different than normal automation of repetitive tasks. Fine, fine. So okay, so suppose we have one finance and accounting team sitting there, which is handling some outsourced job. Okay, so mm in that job, F&A team handles you know um, mm, bill processing, or like let's say settlement of uh, financial enclosures, so all those things. Okay, okay, let's take this question: how RPA is different from normal automation of repetitive tasks? Okay, so see, we can take one simple example here. So let's say we have one Excel sheet which has huge number of records, or let's say phone numbers. Okay, all we need to do is like we need to identify those phone numbers which has, let's say, some textual data, or let's say wrong format. Okay, fine. So Excel itself has feature to sort all those things, but let's say we have wrote some program for it. Okay, program for it. Or let's say another example. So we have one flat file, normal txt file. Okay, those who doesn't understand flat file, so normal textual file which has a lot of um, phone numbers. Normally, notepad file, those who doesn't understand flat files. For that, and what our task is to take first 10 number and put in one cell, take another 10 numbers and put into second cell, then third cell, like that we have to do. We are going to do some bulk sms blast, so we are going to promote some service. Fine. So reading those files, that, remember here I'm not talking about CSV file. CSV file can be opened directly into Excel. We need not to do anything. So here we don't have CSV file, we have plain flat file, and the file size is too huge, couple of GBs. So what we did, we read that file, okay, cut into 10 character pieces and put into cell, cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, like that. For that we have Excel does provide us uh, Excel does provide us some programming feature. Okay, programming feature through that we can do. So what we need to do there, we can write some program, what we say is macro, in very simple language, that is a VB script. Okay, that can help us, that can serve our purpose. Fine. And so now we are, good enough to process any kind of txt file which has numbers. We can put into Excel. That's enough. So now, what if like we don't have this program with us? Then we have to do it manually. Like first copy 10 numbers, put into cell 1, copy another 10 numbers, put into cell 2, like that. Fine. So despite of doing this repetitive job, we have automated it through macros. But our job doesn't end here. After that, we have to put those numbers, we have to pick up first 10 digit or a cell phone which belongs to someone. We don't have that someone name, but we need to find out that name and some more information. Fortunately, we have one application, web application with us. So if we put those numbers into that application will give us the SIM card holder name. Now we have to copy that SIM card holder name and paste into next cell or adjacent cell into Excel. So those who play with Excel, is it possible with macro? First part is possible with macro. Through macro, we can process text data and put into Excel. But how about second half of the work? Okay, so how about second half of the work? So for the second half of the work, again we have to do some human intervention, or we have to do something else. Fine. Okay, so now we got phone number and the name of that person. Okay, apart from phone number, that application gives us email ID of the SIM card holder. That also we have to copy. We have copied. Fine. So then date of birth of that that person. So that also we have copied. Now the next task is, so now in Excel sheet we got four things: cell phone number, we got person name, we got email ID of that person, and we got date of birth, okay, of that person. Now our task is to send a greeting mail, okay, as well as SMS to all those cell phone holders on their respective date of birth. Okay, so do we think like macro only will do, or normal automation can help us here? Answer is no. Normal automation will not do entire thing. Fine, thanks Kamal. So in such cases we need one unified tool, okay, if possible. So for such cases we need a single tool which can not only read and write text data in required format in Excel, but also it should connect to a web application along with given phone number and extract person name, person email ID, and date of birth. Not only stops here, but goes and send automated greeting mails as well as messages. I have taken very simple use case here. Okay. For such kind of scenario, normal automation will not work. Okay. The program which will do all these three things, okay, we call that program as bot, and that bot is developed through either of RPA tool. We did not talk about RPA tool here. We'll go and see in subsequent slide. So that's how RPA is different than normal automation. I remember I did not mention cognitive feature here. That we'll talk in last segment. Fine. So RPA is much more than what I have talked, but just I did simple differentiation or comparison between normal automation and RPA. Fine. So I think Virendra, you have understand. So normal automation within nothing but I said like reading text file and putting into Excel sheet, or let's say in Excel sheet we have hundred of thousands of email IDs, and we have automated just greeting messages. So what our automation will do, it will go and read those email ID and send one, let's say New Year mail, something like that. Fine. So Senthil, what I mean to say is, uh, mm, Anup, I'll come to your question also if time permits. So use cases will take Anup, don't worry. So Senthil, what I was trying to say is, so it's not like that only through RPA we are replacing, we are replacing human resources for repetitive tasks. We had ways to achieve repetitive tasks through some automation, some automation. So I have taken one simple example, that is email automation, or let's say where we have uh, a requirement to send just greeting messages, or like some generic mail to, or even mail itself. All the mail client itself has auto reply feature, so that is nothing but simple automation. So those who are working, they know like how to set auto reply if they are out of office. Fine. So that is nothing but a kind of automation. So despite of your replying to all those mail that I'm out of office, some program is doing for you. That's nothing but few clicks in either of mail client, Outlook, or whatever you are using. Fine. But I have taken one use case. So not only you have to do auto mail reply, but you have to go and read text or subject line of mail, and based upon subject line you have to perform some action, then you have to reply back to the client. Okay. So simple that auto reply feature will not do will not serve the purpose. Fine. I'll mute myself for a moment, because I think some disturbance you might be hearing, just for a minute or so. Fine. Fine. So I said yes, Biplav. Mayur, because I have muted myself, so my voice was not, reaching to you. So I have unmuted myself now. Ankit will understand this thing, like how we choose RPA tool, you know. Fine. So, okay. So this slide will give us more idea, like how exactly RPA works. Okay, how it is different than normal automation, and what is the limitation. Fine. uh, yeah. So in subsequent slide, all these questions, all your queries would be answered, Ankit, don't worry. Okay. So RPA is nothing but let's say a program which so let's say when you go for um, passport office, for applying your passport, um, or the day when your appointment is there. So some human being goes and verifies your given document. If you have missed out specific document, or even if you have missed out a specific field in given document which has to be filled by you. Okay. So does a quick check. That's nothing but audit. Fine. Or let's say when we go and submit some document, and we get some automated SMS. Fine. Okay. So that task is repetitive. So basically RPA is capable of, or let's say bot is capable of executing those repetitive tasks. Still, passport office doesn't have RPA, don't worry. So I have taken simple example because most of us have visited. Yeah, so we can correlate it. Fine. So normal audit tasks can be performed, normal repetitive tasks can be performed. The good thing with RPA is what? It can not only work with newer application. So when I say newer application, then let's say Web 2.0 application. When we say legacy application, we have mainframes, we have AS400 things. You might, I mean, few of you might be working with, these legacies. So it can work with, it works with newer application as well as older application. Fine. So RPA has capability to connect to legacy system as well as newer system. Fine. Based upon some event, it can go and trigger the process to next step. Okay. For example, we have implemented way back when anyone is here from Aries Global. Okay, not an issue. So there is a company which is leader in healthcare domain. For them, we have implemented this RPA way back. So what the use case was, so all we take this medicine, right? So medicine may have some side effect. So all these medicine manufacturer companies or drug companies, they do give us email ID. Hereafter, you should go and check on the boxes of medicine. So you must be having email ID as well as phone number, toll-free number. So if you find any adverse condition after having medicine, you can go and log your condition. You can say, like, after having this medicine, I'm having red patches on my skin, or let's say vomiting sensation or something else. Okay, so they capture this user data. So they have several ways. You can go and log this information over the phone. You can mail them. You can write down a scan and send that attachment to their mail. Okay, so there are several ways. Fine. So these are known as cases. Okay, cases at their end. So suppose I have taken some medicine for, let's say, headache, and suddenly I find like a lot of red patches. We never go and log these things to medicine manufacturer company, but this is our duty. So basically this improves, this is for our betterment. So they'll go and consider this thing, like why it has given adverse condition to specific consumer of medicine. Fine. So that is known as a case, and they go and analyze the case. Fine. So what automation we have done? So earlier, a company called a bot had ways way back. I mean, I'm talking about 2012 second half. So had option that cases can be logged over phone, cases can be logged through mail. But with automation, with RPA, now cases can be, like you can write down cases and you can scan that document, you can take a snap and send. Why they needed this feature? Because of higher availability of cell phones, higher availability of this technology reach to end user. And what this tool will do, it will go and extract information which has been handwritten on some paper and sent as attachment to mail. It will go and download attachment and it will read that mail and create a case. But of course, they have given one specific format, and we have to give a specific subject line. Then only your case would be automatically logged into their system. Okay, so logging the case is nothing but moving one step forward to the process. Fine. So earlier, let's say like 15, 20 years back, it was not very popular, not 15, like let's say 25 years back, it was not very popular in our continent, but we know that those Western counterparts are very, strict about this medicine regulatories and all. Fine. So those things were handled by human beings. And we know that if someone is, logging a case over phone, a lot of noise can be logged. I mean, might be like different accent, different diction, might be like different word I can pick up, and I write something else what what that consumer of medicine has said. Okay, but now that has been uh, done through this automation, this RPA tool. And I mean, Abbott is very popular name in medicine industry, drug industry. Fine. So this is where RPA is replacing existing human resources with automation. Fine, but it's still there is some areas where it has to be improved. This slide belongs to 2018 mid. Okay, so here it says like where emotions and judgmental decision comes into the picture, RPA fails. But organizations are trying to bring in cognitive feature also. I mean, what is the like powerful instrument with human being? Okay, so the I mean, day by day the two RPA tools are adopting or getting empowered with cognitive feature also. Fine. uh, in early initial days of RPA, it was not having capability to do analytics or analysis, but yeah, it's adopting and it's improving a lot. Okay, so the below we can see that this segment RPA still has to, though it has improved a lot ever since it got created. Last 1 year was very fantastic for RPA arena, but still RPA has to improve a lot in judgmental decision or cognitive ability along with analysis. But it is very powerful in where we have simple decision kind of thing, yes or no sort of thing, repetitive task. Okay, or where we have to go and implement policies, or go and enforce some procedures. Okay, for that it's very very powerful. So for example, let's say like we have taken one medical policy which go and covers up 30 different kind of disease, but 5 out of 30 we can can be covered only after um, mm, having your policy 60 days older, or let's say like 365 days older, means 1 year older. Okay, so like, or like let's say some procedures are there, like if you have taken, let's say 3 times, if you have submitted insurance claim 3 times in a year, a specific disease will not be covered anymore. So these are very like simple procedural thing or simple decision thing, so that can be rejected directly by RPA, automation itself. Yeah, so in those segments it's very powerful. Yeah, Sam. So I have taken one example. Let's say uh, we have one simple business unit which has member of 50, and we have to handle tons of submitted medical claim policies. Okay, so where you have to go and uh, mm, like short that policy, or like filter that given claim based upon, let's say, 10 or 15 criteria. Okay, so criteria could be like how many times that person has claimed in a year. Okay, we can claim multiple times in a year also, all we know that, right? So after certain number of claim consumption, certain disease will not be covered. Okay, so these are very simple decision making use cases. But because we are human, we have to read out those lines, we have to though it's just 15, so we have to consider all those criteria. After that we can process that claim for next step, or we can reject from there itself. These are the very simple decision making procedures. Fine. So few myths. I think this slide will this slide will give us more idea about this RPA. Yeah, thanks, Sam. So Rohit, everybody else is able to see, I think so. Please cross check internet connectivity from your side. Sayed, subsequent slide will give your answer. Fine. So some myth about RPA. So mm, we think like RPA can be adopted. This slide will give more ideas to those who are like operational leaders or like business unit head and all. So those who have to make decision whether RPA is suitable for their teamwork or not. So it's not like that RPA can be implemented only for such condition where we have tons of uh, operations or work to be completed. Um, then it's not like that once RPA will come into the picture, there is no use of human resources. I mean, in past slide also we have talked about this, that still we need human resources, but very less in number. That is the benefit. Yeah. Then so thing is like but in past also I have got to some team or some operation head during consulting, that they were confused like we have very small sort of team here, or like we have just 3-step processes or 4-step processes. So does this RPA is gonna help us? The answer is yes. It's not like that. It's only applicable or only useful for those scenarios where we have huge IT infrastructure, or like huge IT integration project. Fine. Yeah. Yeah, Anugrahi, there are places I said like this tool is getting improved. Okay. So anyone is here who does who works in voice-based voice processes, semi-voice, or like uh, anyone is here who works? Okay, okay, great, great. So see, then if okay, 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 we have a good number of people who are from that background. Okay, so as we know that we have seen like a lot of people from Watson background also. So basically, I'm like a great lover of Watson. Watson has uh, a lot of features which will not only help us organization, but even individual also, if Watson becomes fully fledged. Okay, but the fact is Watson is nothing but another like kind of RPA tool, not kind of, it is RPA tool with great degree of artificial intelligence capability. Okay, so unlike IBM sees a lot of future, or basically IBM sees future in Watson itself, and they had really great hope in Watson. It's not like that they failed, but they could not achieve what they have planned to, what they have targeted to achieve. So if Watson becomes fully fledged, it's gonna eat all these voice-based processes. Believe me, that is the use case. I mean, that is their target basically. Okay, but the thing is, so just I'm trying to answer the question where RPA fails. So it was not the failure of Watson, but Watson needs further improvement. Okay, because see, we human being, without while doing conversation across us, without even using proper words, with our gesture or with our sound modulation, we convey a lot of messages. So simple, some funny example we can take. Suppose someone is asking you, will you come to see movie with me? So you can say no. Someone says no. Someone says no, I'm not interested. Someone says yes, I have no, because I have seen. Someone say just there is no word, but a human, a human sound modulation. So, or might be like, let's say like you're asking your colleague to come for coffee break, and your colleague is, colleague got stuck with some bug fixing and he's not able to fix the bug. He's not getting the bug point. I mean the point which is popping up the bug. So he's bit tensed, and you are repetitively asking for coffee break. So despite of saying no, he can turn towards you with some weird face, or with some like some sound itself that says like he's not interested. Okay, so in such kind of scenario, is still RP. I mean, organizations are working. They're trying to bring in a lot of artificial intelligence, which can these are the cognitive feature of human being. Okay, so so these are the things they are trying to bring in a lot, specifically in Watson. Okay, so entire Watson revolves around AI and ML. Okay, so this slide will give us uh, more idea about the outcome of RPA implementation, what exactly this guy will do if we go and implement for our day-to-day business processes. Okay, accuracy is more here because it's a rule based. Okay, so if rule says that rule says very simple thing, if rule says that if you have not paid your last premium, you cannot be considered for insurance claim. Very simple thing. Okay, so yes means yes, no means no. Yeah, sort of. I'll come to your question. So I do have one Accenture use case. Fine. So then it cheaper than, so see, entire industry is moving towards automation. So not only in RPA segment, in normal, like normal application development, application deployment, um, everywhere automation is happening ever since we started doing programming. It's not new, but yeah, last 10 years it's very much evident, like we're moving towards automation. Automation, the purpose of automation is mm, not only one. We always think like automation is for cost cutting. Of course, that is the biggest purpose. Apart from that, automation always reduces bugs, because we have chances to test our automation. It could be script, it could be program, anything. So we can always go and test our automation paradigm. Okay, fine. So if it is not automated, let's say I go and deploy some application, and for that I have to give some permission. I might not be, like I might be absent-minded today. So I did deploy it correctly, but I forgotten to, apply those required permission, and my application will not work. But if same deployment is happening through some, a script, I'm taking normal automation use case here. So some script or some tool, 10 out of 10 times, it would be deployed correctly. Fine. So someone has asked me like, how about ROI and all? So the thing is here, because we don't have much time to do detailed calculation, but these statistics I have taken from those RPA vendors and like use cases. So usually the ROI is less than 1 year. Because we have options, we can go with the tools where we have to pay higher license fee. We have tools where we have lower license fee. We do have tools where without giving license fee we can use, but and that too in like legitimate manner, not like wrong manner. But the thing is, like, we always trust upon tool where we have full-fledged support. Fine. Then it is cheaper because we need not to pay we need not to pay anything for integration. It can go and integrate with our legacy system as well as advanced systems. Fine. The thing is like the more and more areas we go and identify where RPA can be implemented. So it's not a straightforward cake like we got RPA tool license and we go and started doing automation. First, we need to identify, like subsequent slide will give us idea how we can identify. So first we need to go and identify which are the areas in our entire process we can go and implement RPA. Then the challenges we need to identify, then we should go and start doing implementation. So here we can have more than even 50%. I have seen some automation processes, sorry, business processes where automation uh, could be automation has been achieved up to 75 to 80%. So, but that depends upon how we can identify and how much trustworthiness we have for RPA tools. Abdul will try to take your question. Um, no, Nikita, Jenkins is not a RPA tool. It's nothing but a build server. Okay, so if you have like automated build, I mean, if you are using Jenkins and you might be doing some automated build and all, and that is giving kind of understanding that Jenkins is RPA tool. No, it's uh, build server itself. Okay. Yes, Abhishek. In financial industry, RPA has been used in great degree. Um, mm, what was your just a moment, Suresh? What was your question? Can you repeat your question, Suresh, again? Yeah, Biplab, Jenkins can do many more things, but just I try to define Jenkins for those who are not aware of this tool. Those who are from development background or doing some development, they know what exactly Jenkins is. Okay. Yeah, Suresh. So banking industry also they are using it. Okay. Banking industry also they are using it. Fine. So here we can see like why RPA is a big take in last 24 months, or like it's much talked buzzword in current days because of these features, because of these matrices. Okay, so it gives us quality. Okay, because of it gives us quality because of less human intervention. Humans are not gonna I mean, we have replaced human intervention with some program. Okay, fine. Uh, Apart from that, and those who were concerned about banking or financial domain, fine. So it does allow us to cover up all those security and compliances. Fine. So let's say for example FDA or HIPAA or PCI. So those compliances when are not straightforward to get implemented, that needs a lot of human effort. Okay, so here we have ways to go and achieve those things. Fine. So the biggest thing is what speed here. The I mean turnaround time is of transactions is very less. Fine. So that allows us to increase the delivery time. Sorry, decrease the delivery time. That increases the uh, mm, increases the basically that decreases the delivery time. Fine. So this will give us more idea about like different uh, service areas which has been covered by RPA. So here we have We'll get. I mean, there is no like there is no straightforward answer, Ria, here, which is the best tool. But yeah, there are tools uh, which has been benchmarked by industry itself. No, Minhas, not only AI is behind RPA, but yeah, AI is giving great capability of RPA, especially for cognitive areas. Okay, so so this is how uh, evolution of RPA has happened. So the very basic what we say as RPA 1.0 is which is trigger based, like let's say once you have scanned your document and sent to given specific email ID, that tool will go and read your scanned copy and read data from there. Based upon that, it will go and feed your data to some system, and your task will get processed. The more add-on to same feature, more add-on to same tool or same process. What if my RPA tool or my bots are able to go and do screen capture? Anyone is here from e-commerce or travel domain, or anyone here handles online pricing? Yeah, Venkatesh. So okay, so those who are handling, who are into travel, or those who are into e-commerce, I mean those who work for a company which sells um, their services or their especially goods in online market, they know the pain of pricing. In e-commerce, let's say if we can take one use case, let's say Amazon as well as Flipkart here in India. If you go and check any item on either of these two vendors, you can find very less price differences. And we know that those items are not being sold by either Amazon or Flipkart. They have sellers, sitting over there, and they give some bandwidth for pricing to their sellers. So how they match up pricing to their competitor. So they keep track on each other pricing. And I have mentioned just two e-commerce, these are the leader. But if you go and see, we have more than, I mean, yeah, more than 1,000 e-commerce vendor in India itself. Those, I mean, we have vendors which service in a specific city itself. We have vendors which service in a specific state itself. So you have to tackle all those vendors. Or you can take travel domain. So if let's say Bangalore to Mumbai flight fare increases to one vendor for a specific fleet, the same price you can find two other vendor also. How vendor B get to know that vendor A has increased the price? We know that, we also know that pricing again depends upon number of seats sold, but they always match up to each other. How? They keep on downloading data from all other vendors, they do comparison, and they keep on changing their prices also. Okay, I have worked more than 10 years to aviation company, which is a leader. So in early days, I mean, I'm talking about 2005-6, we have a big team which does nothing but web scraping. They used to download data from all the competitor websites. Then we have written some C++ script to process those data, and every now and then those applications were crashing. Later on we moved to Python, and then like we have to clean the data. In Python we got great degree of ease. Then we have to do some we have to run some algorithm for comparison, and we have to update our pricing. Now that team is been vanished. We had around 40-member pricing team. Sorry, pricing team was different. Web scraping team. So now, despite of 40 member, we have 5 members team, and all this web scraping. Web scraping. Those who doesn't understand web scraping is nothing but a mechanism to download data from websites. Okay. So all we need to do is what we have to have one URL bank I mean, we have to have some sheet where we go and keep on adding URL of newer vendors, and our RPA runs in and downloads all the data in purified way, in a purified manner. Still, we use Python for scrapping, but we have deployed bots, and we have a scrap 35 members team. We have reduced to 5. Fine. So I think this is the one which will give us more ideas about different uh, generations of RPA. So as of now, we are sitting in RPA 3.0 as well as 4.0. Okay. So Watson stands with RPA 4.0. So we have very simplest form of RPA, which does nothing but assist us. So it will give us it will run at workers desktop. Okay, and it has some limitation with partial automation, but that is what it's supposed to do. So basically, as name itself says, assistant RPA, so it will help a human resource, okay, to reduce the time. Fine. Then we have RPA 2. I mean, gone are the days when we use RPA. Still a lot many companies they use, but gone are the days. So there is no future for sorry, RPA 1.0. We have RPA 2.0. So which does end-to-end automation. Fine. Deployment can be done on servers. Servers could be virtual machine. Okay. So we can go and schedule our program. For example, let's say we get our inquiries between 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we can schedule our RPA bots to run between this given time. Okay. RPA 2.0 tools, they come up with some centralized robot management. We'll talk about this in a moment. Okay. So we can even go and check how efficiently our applications, RPA applications, are running. Yeah. But the thing is, here we have to control those robots manually. Okay. Yeah. So uh, right now, apart from Watson, there are many more which uses AI, but this is the one where majority companies are relying upon. Fine. So now our application runs on multiple machines, okay, multi-tenancy, fine, and mm, the newer RPA tools have a lot of pre-built libraries through which mm, we can automate a lot of third-party tools, third-party applications. Fine. It has capability to work in cloud or work and software as service module. Fine. They have feature for auto scaling, and they do, they can manage the load also. So suppose we get more work to be processed, they have capability to auto scale themselves. Fine. Wherein RPA 4.0 comes up with cognitive feature, which has been done through natural language processing feature or AI or machine learning. Watson is example here. So the RPA tool, what we go and compare, they fall under this category. There are many more, Amit. There are many more. No, Venkatesh. Web scraping is, I mean, still company does web scraping, but there are ways you can stop robots, running for web scraping. There are tools. So if you try to run robot for, let's say, Amazon, simple, I mean, robots, you will not be able to do that one. But still you can do through Python. Yeah, so companies, but internally they do. No, Sudarshan, we'll talk about what exactly we need to know. I mean, we need to learn, to be able to be a RPA developer. Okay, so this is how RPA is changing the perspective, the impression or trust across the industry. Fine. So there was a time where we used to do just desktop automation. Fine, through VBA or like through screen scraping. Okay, there we used to play only with structured data. Okay, and used to do only repetitive actions. So gone are the days when we were limited with you know uh, these features only. Fine. So now we are sitting here. Fine. So we have rule-based automation programs running. Okay, but still it doesn't require intelligence. Still it is based upon our binary decision, true or false. If true, then do this. If it is false, then do that. Fine. And we are moving towards cognitive automation, which requires much more human intelligence, which requires cognitive behavior like human being. And that's where IBM is investing a lot in Watson. So if Watson start doing its and start playing with its 100% capability, it will change the entire healthcare world. I mean, I have done a couple of use cases for healthcare in Watson. Watson itself has so many branches or so many domains, but for other domain, I don't have idea. But for healthcare, if Watson start fulfilling what it's supposed to do, then it will change the entire healthcare domain itself. Let's say, for simple example, the use case what we did was like Watson has capability. Basically, they are building up the capability. They might have built up by now that through simple blood test it can identify uh, 30-40 different complex uh, disease possibility. Not only disease but possibility also it can find out. So you can see, I mean, you can think of like how it will change the entire healthcare industry itself, or like how it can change the healthcare services. So this is where we are trying to reach. Okay, so this is the biggest question: is RPA implementation is operational or strategic? The the thing is, it's both. Okay, it's both. So, mm, but initial implementation of RPA, I have witnessed to operational, but it can be operational as well as strategic. Okay, so those who don't understand both the jargons, operational are nothing but the actions what you take to achieve some task. Strategic is nothing but plan what you have to complete a task. Fine. So those, I mean, we have few participants who says like I'm working in RPA domain, so they can understand if you have tried implementing RPA, what kind of challenges you have faced. Okay, fine. So what kind of challenges you have faced? So left hand side we have challenges. Fine. So this is the one of the biggest challenge: fear and job uncertainty surrounding RPA, that everyone talks when we go and try to implement RPA, because comparatively this domain is new. Fine. So we have very less number of case studies. So um, one more information I would like to inject here. Majority of people understand that RPA works only in BPO domain. That's not the fact. Okay, I have witnessed to implement RPA even in proper big data development world. That's where I use RPA. Okay, but another fact is what it has been loved by BPO domain a lot. Okay, yeah. So a lot of challenges. These are the challenges we have. One, like we don't have much case studies. Okay, so then mm, the impact itself is um, mm, not linear, it's fragmented. So sometimes we don't understand um, workflow which will impact our work after 3 months or after six months, or like let's say client is giving new process and we don't understand their workflow, so we don't trust upon RPA in beginning itself. So these are the challenges. Fine. But the good thing with RPA is what, like it has very lesser time for implementation. Those who are from infra background or development background, sometimes infra changes or new implementation of infra takes years of time, not 1 year. Okay, so just moving from um, I mean, mm, one of the consulting we did in 2017 first quarter for moving data lake from on-premise to cloud, and thing is still that work is going on. So first phase we have completed in 2017 first quarter, but still we did POC, we did partial migration, but still that companies, mm, not having that confidence to move their entire data lake to cloud. But here that's not the case. So it doesn't take much time. In a 1 quarter itself, we can go and implement this tool. Fine. So how we can go and deploy RPA. Okay, so the first thing we need to identify business process, like for which process we are going to implement RPA. Then we have to select the transaction. Entire BPM will have multiple processes. I'm sorry, multiple transactions or steps in simplest word. Which are all the steps we can, we have finalized for RPA. Blindly, we should not go and implement that one. We have to, evaluate. Fine. Then we have, after that, we should always go and do POC. We have to create some use cases. We have to uh, test it, and testing is not as straightforward. Okay, testing is not straightforward. Uh, so we have to go and create some test plans. Final, after that we can go and deploy. Beginning itself, few of you have asked, like, uh, is it like similar as Selenium? Answer is no. Okay, so Selenium is nothing but a web driver. Okay, a framework. Hello, am I audible? Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Thank you. So this is the common scenario with Indian internet service providers. It flickers, so it got flickered for a second. Yeah, I lost the audio. Got restored within a second itself. Yeah, yeah. Fine. So this slide will give us more idea about the situation, which areas we can go and implement RPA or limitation. Fine. So we have normal business process here. Uh, Hopefully, like this slide would be shared across you. Uh, as of now, it might look a bit hazy to you, but entire thing I have segmented across 4 different legends. We have RPA potential, which is in dark, is very high. We have low, we have medium, we have none. So we have none for all those places where, let's say mm, you are working for one loan recovery process. Okay, so few loans, you go and recover aggressively. Few loans you know you give some more time to your client depending upon their payment history, and few loans you go and write off, you go and put into NPA. Okay, so which loan should go under NPA cannot be decided through RPA. Okay, because that includes a lot of factors. Fine. So I mean, it's not based upon yes or no judgment. So those are the areas where you can't implement RPA. So yeah, so once you have this slide, you can go and check all these gray one, um, where RPA cannot be implemented as of now. In future, I can't say. Yeah, so the potential of RPA is I mean next to zero in those segments. So I have taken one use case like in loan recovery process. If we have to write off a loan, then that cannot be judged through RPA tool. Fine. So this segment, we are into last segment now. Mm, Praful, precisely answer is yes. Broadly, even if you don't know, then then still you can manage, but um, you should know some programming language. Yeah, Biplab. So see, Biplab question is like if loan can be given or not. For that case, we have credit decision tools. I'm not talking about that. Okay, so you have credit decision tool, Biplab, but see, it's still a lot of financial organization, they offer loan even though you have bad credit, bad civil score. If you are working in finance domain, then you must be aware of this. In that case, they always go and do comparison. They go and increase your interest rate, and still they offer loan even though you have not worst but little bit like kind of average civil score category. Chandrasekhar will understand. We'll talk about this. We have one slide for doing comparison. So we are in last segment now. Fine. So before you go and implement RPA, okay. So these are the areas where you should go and make decision like where I should go and implement RPA or not. Fine. So these are the aspects we have to consider. So we have to always do assessment like number of transactions, okay, a number of steps which we are going to automate. Fine. How much investment we have to, because all these are licensed one, so how much investment it will incur, and how about maintenance cost per transaction. Fine. Then technical consideration also we have to take. I mean, how good my tool is for exception handling. I'm talking about RPA tool. Okay, the stability of current system, we might have some system in place. Fine. Then how many IT system or like different system will get involved. Fine. So if process complex, so in X coordinate we have process complexity, and Y we have technical complexity. Fine. So this will give us more judgmental idea. So if we have, let's say, analysis based upon judgment, or we have analysis based upon rules, okay, or based upon some data entry, and even those rules are limited, not like 200 rules we have to apply for getting some decision, okay, then it falls under medium. Fine. Okay, so those steps we can, those domains we can go and test a step by step. So first we need to identify is process is manual plus repetitive. Okay, no, then we should not go ahead. Okay, if yes, then it is rule based. Yes, then we can like we go and check like does it have electronic input types, means someone is sending data through keyboard inputs or some device input. Okay, so these are the basically steps which will allow us to identify processes. Once we have processes with us, then then we can go and plan like implementing RPA for these processes. Okay, so how we can go and so before we, this is how we go and make a strategy for RPA implementation. So first we go and find out process name, then phase, then like what are all the departments or team involved, who are stakeholders, fine, then description, then I mean these are the steps for those who have made decision that we are going to do a POC for RPA implementation. Okay, so actually see in a long day process here we do activities because we are in webinar, so this activity is not applicable for us, so I'm skipping this slide. Okay, so this is like million dollar question. So those especially into BPO domain, so they are quite fearful that is this guy is going to eat up our job. Fine. So before I go and answer, I'll take a quick you know uh, view from you guys, those who are into BPO. What they think? Anup says no. Okay, so I'll buy out here Alok Sharma view. Yes and no both. Yes for low skill and no for high skill. Okay, that's the perfect answer. So if you are doing some, let's say, very repetitive task which requires very low human skills, of course your job is in danger. Okay, don't be fearful. I mean still by 2020, I mean you have still 24 months, 25 months in your hand, because a lot of companies still they are into POC phase. But yes, if your position is purely based upon less human intelligence kind of work, then it's right time to go and upgrade yourself. Fine. So this is the place where RPA is not gonna work very perfectly. So now last few slides will give us a competitive study across the tools, the leader across the vendors and all those things. Fine. So we have, as of now, we have more than 30 tools in the market. It could be more also. Okay, so I have just taken some number. So we have more than 30 tools in the market. We have desktop based automation tools. Okay, so in this segment itself we have many more. I have just picked up 2 names randomly. Then we have enterprise based. Okay, and then we have mix of both. The fact is demand is for this segment. We have much more demand for this segment. Okay, so we'll try to understand this one. So what exactly uh, what what feature exactly it has? So thing is like in this segment they have various modules. They have here leader is automation anywhere, UiPath, and even Blue Prism. Blue Prism also does very same thing what these two does. So they have given a lot of module. Okay, and entire thing is been divided across um, two components. Fine. For execution, we need servers, and for development, we have clients. So we will try to dig out more uh, of this segment. So I was saying, like, we have more than 30 tools in the market. So few I have taken across the segment. So in BPM segment, we have, as one of you have asked, like, informed, we have already tools for load allocation logic and all. Even those tool comes under automation. Fine. So apart from all these 6 segments, BPM, ERP, productivity tools and all, here is the one, which is leading core RPA capability these tools has. And here you can see all three: Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, UiPath. We have tools from Crayon System, from Work Fusion, and many more. So these are basically vendors. Whatever you see here, these are the vendors. They are the creator of different RPA tools. Yeah, Shiva, just for differentiation I put there. Anup, answer is I'll come to these questions in a moment. We have just 3-4 more slides to be covered up. Okay, so these are top 10 RPA products. I have taken this benchmark from one of the use cases. Okay, so hope, Anup, this will answer your question. So in top 3 position we have UiPath, Blue Prism, and Automation Anywhere. Okay, so it's not like that Automation Anywhere is standing at first place, and like Blue Prism is first runner-up and UiPath is second runner-up. It's like these three are leader. That the market capture percentage is depending upon okay, based upon this slide, we can't make decision like who is the front runner and who is the second runner or third, depending upon organization. As per my observation or experience, till 2016, BP Blue Prism was not the front runner. There could be several reasons behind it, but one reason was, if any one of you are using BP, have used BP in 2016, we have a common scenario. It used to crash a lot. They have fixed this thing up to great extent, but yeah, that used to crash. You are running something, suddenly your application crashes. Fine. Automation Anywhere is much more stable, but cost wise it's higher. Blue Prism, UiPath sits in between, especially for European vendor and even for US vendor. I have seen UiPath is the first love, so they use a lot. What is the reason behind that? They only know, but I've seen like European and US vendor, they use UiPath a lot. Fine. So this is another comparison, because I have taken these three as a use case, because these three are the front runner. So this is pretty old one. When I say pretty old one, this slide we created in last year, first half, so almost 6-7 months older. So this is statistics might have changed a bit or might be a lot also. Okay, but this is a comparison across all these three tools. Venkatesh, we can go and use Watson for that. Even Automation Anywhere has IQ bot, from in which they are trying to bring in a lot of cognitive feature. But for me, as per my experience, Watson is the first choice for AI related things. Yeah, few of I'm getting continuous question like, do we have open source? We do have open source, but the thing is, your entire billing, your entire business qualities depends upon uh, hmm, the trustworthiness as well as stability of the tool itself. So I don't think any company will go and pick up open source RPA tool for their business process automation. We do have licensed tool. Still, companies are not damn reluctant not to move. But last 12 or 15 months, this scenario got changed. They are loving it a lot. They are open to move towards RPA implementation because they have tested the benefits and cost effectiveness. So yeah, this is the right analysis. So Subhash, um, and others who were um, trying to understand what is the different across all these three tools, this slide will answer. So the fact is all these three tools is been developed through Microsoft technology. Okay, so way back I got one question, does it work for other processes, other platform apart from Windows, someone has asked. The answer is automation can be done, not an issue, but you can't run these three tools on platform other than Microsoft. You have to have Windows. Okay, so you can see like reliability is high in both the cases, BP and Automation Anywhere. So but the BP lags here in cognitive capability. In Automation Anywhere it's medium, as I mentioned that they have implemented IQ bot. Okay, fine. So of course it's reusable. So they allow us to create component which can be used in another bot. Fine. Uh, User friendly, BP is high, UI path is high. Even Automation Anywhere is high. I'm not agree with this medium thing. Yeah. And you see that since when they have entered into the market, the here it says like base technology is C sharp, but the older code of BP is been written in VB itself. So it's been almost more than 15 years, or for UiPath 14 years they are into market, and now they have picked up the pace. Yeah, Subhash. Subhash's question is, if I know one among these three, will I be able to pick up other one? The fact is, paradigm is same. Okay, paradigm is same, and mm, the learning assignments are same. Okay, learning complexity is same. Just another flavor of same tool you will feel while learning it. So suppose BP, then you can pick up Automation Anywhere easily or UiPath easily. So if you know either of these three, other one you can pick up easily. Okay, Jitendra, you can automate Linux processes. Okay, but the thing is you can't go and install on Linux all these three. For others I'm not sure. Abdul, yeah, for Automation Anywhere you have to buy separate license. Just two more slides I have, Sandeep, then I'll come to your question. Okay, so this is one simple use case. Suppose we are getting a lot of mail, so and mail will have Excel attachment. Okay, so we have to download that attachment and we have to read out of that. Fine. Then we have to go and launch application, and we have to enter data after reading from Excel sheet into different tab. Okay, then it will generate one order. So we have to generate that order. After that we have to capture order ID and send email. Very simple use case. Okay. So these we have to do. What if we are doing it manually? So first we have to read the mail, download attachment, then we have to read, let's say, first record from Excel sheet. Fine. We have to open the application, we have to feed data here, then something here means a number of items, type of item, okay, delivery location, so many information. After that we'll get order, order generation step, which will say like create order. After that we'll get once we are created order successfully, we'll get order ID. Then we have to educate customers that your order has been posted. So this is your order ID for further tracking. So these steps can be automated properly through RPA tool. So beginning, we have a confusion like how it is different than normal automation. The fact is we can automate Outlook mails. Okay, we have tool in place. We can automate Excel. We have tool in place. But what automation can be done for auto reply from Outlook will not work for reading data from Excel. And same tool uh, cannot help for feeding data into web application or desktop application and doing some processing. But through RPA, these all steps can be done through one bot or one program, what we say as bot. And this bot can be developed through either Blue Prism or UiPath or Automation Anywhere, or many more tools are there in the market. Fine. So now we are free to take as many as questions possible. Yeah, in beginning itself someone has asked like which language uh, which language should I learn. The fact is at least one language you should know. The right choice would be C sharp, because you are not going to write let's say C sharp programming, but Blue Prism as well as UiPath uses great extent of C sharp programming concept. They have something called as data table. They have something called as directory. So inside that you have functions. So you should know like how to use functions. You should mm, you should you should know like how function overloading works. You have multiple overload of same function. So if you're going to, I mean, if you plan to make career in RPA, there are some prerequisite. So prerequisite is you should be able to have basic programming skills. I would suggest you should go and learn C sharp. You have tons of like free videos on internet you can learn. So 20 hours of C sharp practice will help you out. That is one thing. You should have basic SQL skills also, like how SQL works. So how to create a table, how to feed data, because you have to do some database automation also. If you don't have DB skills with you, you will lag. You will face some challenge there. So two things. Okay. Third one is what you should have basic idea of how web application works, because when you go and do some web automation, so when I say basic idea about how web works, I mean to say how web application works first thing, and basics of HTML, like how table we create under HTML and all. Because when you go and do automation through UiPath, suddenly you will face challenge if you have zero idea about HTMLs. There we have something called selectors, so that requires you uh, uh, it requires you to have some idea about HTML. And along with HTML, if you have bit idea about XML, then that would be great help for you. But don't worry if you don't have either of these what tools I have mentioned, still you can go and learn. But sooner or later this monster will keep on coming in front of you. So the thing is like entire this prerequisite can be learned within 30 or 40 hours of practice or learning. Yeah. Yeah, Subhash, see, Python also will help because you require, programming language. So, so no, Prashant, not only OCR, but you can, automate legacy system also like mainframe processes or like, AS400, or you can do DB automation, you can do email automation, Excel, okay? Yeah, all those things can do. Amit, see, more and more companies are moving towards. So the fact is what I mean, we have already talked about like is RPA is going to eat up our job. The fact is, if you are in purely into repetitive task, uh, kind of a skill set, sooner or later you're going to face challenge. So before time comes, why should not we should equip with this tool and technology and switch ourselves to other side of river. Yeah. Ansul, we have a lot of scope. I said like uh, Accenture, I mean Xerox and all. We have already. I have seen a lot of implementation, but even Accenture, Capgemini, Infi, I have seen a lot of recruitment, IBM recruitment as well as like ongoing project. Prashant, this 2019 as well as 20 is going to be great year for RPA. No, Manoj Kumar. So see, simply we can't answer like Java developer is going to be, impacted depending upon what you do in Java. Yes, we do a lot of, we are using into, finance domain. Depending upon, how wisely or nicely you have implemented Suresh and, how those, security expectation you have considered. Nikta, depending upon your past experience also, but yeah, of course, it's going to elevate your salary. My pick would be automation anywhere first, then BP second, UiPath third. Ramu, this is the answer for you. Of course, Gaurav, I have answered your question. Sorry, I missed your question, Nitin Srivastava. Uh, no, Mayur. Chatbot, is based upon AI. If you repeat your question, Nitin, I'll try to answer. Of course, certification will give you more extent of visibility, Nikta. It's still companies are working towards this, so more and more AI and ML will come into the practice, more powerful it will become. Nitin, this is the answer for your question. See, all these three vendors, they allow us to write certification. UiPath, they give basic certification free as well as automation anywhere, basic certification free. We can go with enterprise certification. For that, we have to pay. Yes, Shivji Pandey, we can automate that thing also. Okay, guys. So it was a great session. I got a lot of valuable and as well as useful questions. Fine. Thanks a lot. So I'm going to end the session. Thank you. Good night to all of you. Thank you.